Welcome back everyone to Into the Flames, and I've decided to do the house fire scenario. So I'm gonna try to do everything by the book. So we're gonna set up our water supply and gonna hook up to the hydrant there. Let's get our hydrant wrench. Now, usually when the chief pulls up, you have to do a 360, or whoever the officer in charge is. Alright, so it's fire blowing out of all the windows. Alright, let's get our line. So we're gonna do discharge 1. Let's do the foam tip. Alright, I always seem to mess that one up. Alright, foam tip. I'm gonna set that there. Alright, let's go to pump panel. Want to fill the tank. And then I actually forgot what number connection that was. Alright, so that was discharge 1. So I go to discharge 1 at 140. And alright, so let's see if we can. Alright, I'll need hose connections. Alright, so the problem I have with this scenario is the wires. You don't really want to raise the extended ladder that close to wires, and there's a line that goes into the house which could snap, but I'll overlook that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a couple ladders. Alright, so we're gonna open that garage door. So the one ladder there. Alright, so we're gonna get 2 more ladders. Another 14 foot. It's kind of no point. There's not that much room over here. So I'll put a ladder there. Obviously no one's gonna climb up it with fire blowing over it. let's see. So, let's go ahead and pack up. And let's get our rotary saw. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. Alright, and let's jump on the ladder. Really, I should have grabbed the hook, and you'll see why I'm saying that. Alright, so we're gonna exit. Alright, so we have... Alright, so there's 2 holes there. So you want to stand above or to the side there. Alright, so you have a couple holes here, and that's to lift the smoke, so when you go inside, it improves the visual conditions. Ah, that's interesting. So let's grab our hook. And you need to climb up on right, so use this to push this in. Alright, so hopefully that lifts the smoke conditions from being all the way to the ground to maybe halfway. So that gives the firefighters some kind of visual. So let's just set that down right there. And actually, let's do some forcible entry. So this is a nice little scenario to practice on. Alright, so we're gonna put that down, and So the reason why I'm using the fog pattern hose line is in fire science, it's not actually the water that puts the fire out, it's the small water particles that puts it out. Puts it out a lot faster. So you would actually get better results from a fog pattern than you would a full stream. Okay, so I thought there was a door here that we had to open. So really, I should be kneeling down if I was to play this realistically. Alright, so we have that. Not really sure what room I'm in. Alright, looks like it may be the living room. Alright, so I wish they would correct the fire that's blown out the window when there's no fire around the window from the inside. And that's what I mean right there. But overall it's something minor. Now there seems to be a lot of communities that's built around this game so far, so this would actually be a good test scenario for a couple of things. For just the overall firefighting and preparing your line officers for different scenarios. So I could think of maybe at least 4 or 5 scenarios just off this one. Alright, let me go out and get some more air. Alright, so we have our air. So we got the first floor. So let's take our pole. Alright, so usually you'd be able to, from a realistic standpoint, you could use this hook to smash out the window, but not able to do so in the game, so do the next best thing. Alright, so that's I'm not going to even discuss what just happened. Alright, so let's go around front. Alright, so this is the tool we're going to need. So we need to pry open those, pry those doors open. Okay, so we have some fire in there. Have some fire in there also. And definitely have fire in there, so... Alright, so let's go through here. Alright, so restroom is clear. Alright, let's see if we can push forward. Alright, so it appears that everything is out in this room. And if you think everything's too dark, this is actually realistic. And I'm not sure if any of you guys watch Chicago Fire, but this is one of the things that annoys me with that show, is all you see is the fire, and that's actually not a true scenario, because you can't see anything inside. You could literally put your hand in front of your face and you won't see your hand at all. Alright, so there's definitely fire in the roof. Alright, so that's done. See if we could do some hydro ventilation. Yeah, that's not working. Alright, so we need to open up the ceiling. So we're gonna have to grab our hook. Where did it go? Alright, so just have to grab another one then. So really, if you look at everything, the way I went, it's actually more textbook than I intended. Because you kind of want to stay close to the wall so you don't get disoriented. And that's the basic pattern that I followed. Alright, so let's start opening this up. Okay, we definitely have fire up here. Alright, so let's put our hook down. Alright, so I like this scenario because apparently it's different each time, which is realistic because regardless of how similar a situation may be, it's still going to be different. No two incidents are alike. So from a realistic standpoint, this would be the proper thing to do since there was already fire in the ceiling. Just want to double check. So I'm ignoring the mission accomplished. And really, you actually kind of do the same thing to the wall. Make sure there's no fire that extended through the space in the wall. Fire likes to travel through that area. Alright, so do we have... No, I'm really excited for this game. The more things he adds to it, it makes it a whole lot better. And if you look at some of my previous videos for this game, you'll see how far it's advanced. Alright, so we have... Alright, so we open up the ceiling. Alright, so... Next thing I need to do is get the fan. Alright, so let's do our 360 and see, make sure everything is okay, everything's out, nothing's smoldering. Now, I would imagine at some point there's going to be overhaul that you do, and for those of you not familiar with firefighting, overhaul is when you just basically throw out everything outside, like any furniture that was on fire. You pretty much throw it all outside, and then someone will take the hose and soak it one more time, but you leave it outside because room that's on fire can reach easily about 1500 degrees. So even with the water on it, sometimes it can start back up, which is called a rekindle, and that's a pretty embarrassing event for a fire department. Alright, so let's put the rotary saw up. And let's try to get our fan. Guess I'm gonna have to put one at the front door too. Alright, so we actually did the job of a couple different companies. So we did the ladder company, by ventilating the roof and then setting up the ladders to the second story window, and that's done as a precaution in case something goes wrong inside. The firefighters have a way to escape instead of trying to go back out the same way that they came because the conditions worsen. And only thing I didn't really do was a primary search of the building, make sure there's no victims. And other thing missing is a alright, so the rescue is there. So the other thing missing would be your rapid intervention team. And what they do is they pretty much stand by outside, but at a moment's notice, they're ready to go in, and they're pretty much there to rescue any firefighter that gets injured or is non-responsive. Keep trying to call for them and there's no response. That team will go in and attempt to try to bring that firefighter or firefighters out based off of their assignment that they have or the area that they're supposed to be in. And you can usually be drawn to it by the pass device that's on each air pack. What that does is it's an alarm that goes off if the firefighter isn't moving, and it'll alert the other firefighters in that room or that house that there's a firefighter down and need to try to attempt to find out what's going on or rescue that person and get them out the building. So that's going to be the end of this scenario, and you guys can let me know if you want to see more. I'm trying to explain everything the best way that I can based off of my own experience from being a former volunteer firefighter, and did that a long time ago. So we're just gonna wrap everything up. Now, when I was active, the one thing I hated was wrapping up. So it's fun to take everything off the truck and go running into the building, but once everything's over, like, you usually don't have scenarios where most of the time where the hydrant is this close. It's usually at the end of the block, and I can't remember the length of the supply line, but this line right here is heavy. It's the largest hose line that you have on the truck. So it's, well, from the area that I came from, it was a 5-inch line, so 5-inch diameter line. And when you try to clear this water, like, basically you would have to, of course you would disconnect everything, and then you would have to stretch the line all the way out, and then kind of drain the water out. So what you would do is you would just walk, you would pick the hose line up, put it over your shoulder, and basically try to drain the water out, and just kind of go along the length of it, try to drain the water out before you connect it back to the truck. And then then you basically have to do the whole setup of like the way it was before you took everything off, be ready for the next call. And then once you get to the firehouse, if there's a lot of soot and everything on the hose line, then you actually have to scrub and clean that, or grab another line or spare line to replace the length that you used, and wait until that what you use gets cleaned and dried off and everything. So again, that's pretty much it for this. And alright, so let's go to pump, return everything, and that's it. Not sure what's wrong with that part. Alright, so that just disappeared. Alright, so that's it, and I will see you soon.